Can you all hear me? Let's see. Oh. Is there anybody out there? Can you hear me? I can see 9 of you watching. So hello, good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. I have got Daughter of the Deep out today. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Christine. Hello, Sherry, Sharon, and Reds. I'm good, thank you. I plodding on this week. I had a good stitchy week. Got loads in. Did a full model stitch as well, so another sort of 1,250 stitches, which are extra to my totals. Hi, Mrs. Miggins. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Katinka, Rosemary, Maya, and Sheila. Lots of you in. How are we all, and what are we all up to? What are you stitching on? Daughter of the Deep for me. I've been working on this all day. I'm up to 970 stitches in so far. I haven't worked this weekend. Overtime was optional. So I spent the weekend stitching. Hi, Coralie. I had a haircut yesterday. So you'll see that on my floss tube tomorrow. I've had a good trim. And I do apologise. I can hear the little one screaming next door again. He's a fine pair of lungs on him, that little lad. He's about 3 and he doesn't show up. Hi, Cheryl. So, Disney stamped kits, lovely. Mrs. Miggins, Steampunk Tiger 13.02, lovely. That's cracking on. Sharon Hayde, Hot Air Balloon Sunrise, yeah. Lovely, lovely. I've had a stitching week that's had, let me get my book. I can never remember without my book. I've had Sailing Fairy, Autumn Waltz, and the Lord of the Rings. Let's see. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings stained glass has been out, and this one's just the 4 this week for me. And of course, my model stitch, but I can't show my model stitch on my floss tube because it's a secret. It's very nice. The only thing I will say is that it was on 6 count fabric using 6 strands of floss. So that was definitely something different to what I'm used to. Going from 25 count 1/1 to 6 count 6/1. It was quite a jump. And it was on black fabric too. Okay. Gail, hi there. Spring Cat, Satsuma Street. Just move my light round a bit. Red, you're just relaxing a little bit. Tomorrow's your final semester. Oh. Sandy, Stitching Letter Fairy H for my granddaughter's birthday in May. Lovely. Mrs. Miggins didn't purchase mini stitching time in the Hayde sale along with the other 3. What were the other 3 you got, Mrs. Miggins? Spill the beans and enablers. Come on. I've been busy during work this week, so I haven't even been able to do my unboxing that I wanted to do this week either. And, you know, I mean, obviously I didn't work this weekend, but Andy's children have been here until, you know, they went home a couple of hours ago. And since then it's been, you know, obviously it's dark and I like to do my unboxings in natural light. So, but yeah, it's just been, I seem to have been non-stop this week. It's good to be busy, don't get me wrong. But it'd be nice just to have, you know, a relaxing week. But I've only got this week at work and then I'm off the week commencing the 12th. So that would be nice. A week off. Andy is around, he's just washing up at the moment and hopefully going to provide me with a cup of tea. Hint, hint, my dear. Don't think he can hear me. 2 girls are in. Lauren is in the bath. Hannah is currently watching something on telly upstairs with the cat. Stepdad has been here for his Sunday dinner. He seems to be doing well just lately. So, yeah. Oh dear, Sharon. I've enabled you with stitching shelf, regular size, max colours. Ooh, same one that I've got. I do love my stitching shelf. I love the colours in it. So Mini Christine, Mini Christine, Mini Beloved, and Steam Heart. Also got the British flag for the Sal going around the world. Is that the Blackwork Sal? The one, have I seen it on Instagram? Might have seen that you can put, you know, your country's flag in it. Is that the one that you're talking about there, Mrs. Miggins? Oh, my focus keeps jumping, doesn't it? Let's just move up a bit again. I've been watching a bit of Floss Tube this weekend as well. You know, catching up and, you know, there seems to be lots and lots of Floss Tubers these days. And, you know, some of them have got a huge amount of subscribers, you know, and only done like, you know, 8 videos or something daft. Amazing. Now, it started in Australia with Gail Phillips, designed by Vivsta on Etsy. I'll have to have a look at that. Although it won't be started this year because I'm on no new starts. Did I see Kamari's update? I haven't seen it yet. How many she done in January? I bet she's bordering on or around 60,000 mark. I can't believe how quickly that lady stitches. I think it's a lady. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But oh my God, there's a lot of stitching. And so fast. I feel positively lazy at the sight of her. Holy moly, nearly over 69,000 stitches, crikey. That's 2 months for me, almost. So she's easily stitching twice the amount that I am. Blimey. And I thought I were doing quite well. Lots of people say, how do you do it? How do you get so many stitches in? Luck of the draw, I think, for me. But blimey. Mrs. Miggins, you're making it a leap year start, I see. Said you'd only stitch on the 2 but you'll start on the 29th. Yeah. A few people are having a leap year start. A lot of people are doing like long dogs on leap year. I just grab a quick drink. Oh, weight loss, another 1.5 pounds. So I've made me 4.5 stone. Thank you, Hal. Which in real terms is 63 pounds. So I won't make my 5 stone by 26 weeks because that's next week. And I'm not going to lose 0.5 stone this week unless I have a leg chopped off or something. But still going. And at the rate I am over the last 3 weeks, we're looking at August for me getting to my goal. So as long as it doesn't slow down to any less than 1.5 pounds a week, I'll be good for getting to my goal by about August. So, because I still have another, let's see, 14, 28, 38, 45 pounds to lose. Which seems like a lot. But that will get me into an ideal weight range for my height because I'm quite tall. Well, I say quite tall. I'm, moderately tall, 5'7.5", and it'll get me to a normal BMI of 25. So thank you, ladies. I am getting there. Yeah, and the habits, that I'm in are so much better. Things like I drink a heck of a lot more fluids than I was ever doing before. I don't eat carbohydrates like I used to do. I certainly don't eat. I never really used to eat an awful lot of sweets and chocolate anyway, but I don't eat much sweets and chocolate. I'm usually the last one in line now for a takeaway, rather than the first. Don't get me wrong, there are still some days I'd love a fat pizza or, burger or whatever. But I found that I can cook something that tastes just as nice and satisfies me, so there we go. And I'm currently wearing pajamas where if I take more than about 3 steps, they fall down. But I don't want to part with them because they're cool. So I think I might have to put a safety pin in or a couple of stitches in the waistband or something. So we've had a bit of nasty weather today, a bit of rain, but it's mild still. So that's all right. And they're saying about the dreaded white stuff coming down next week or something. Did we know if we're going to Potlington next Saturday or not? Or have we not decided yet?
Well,
hi, Ava.
Given Hannah's weather report, I don't know. So I'm just going to check the weather for myself.
All right, okay. Hi, Eva. Hope you're doing okay. Sounds like something's cooking, Andy.
Yeah.
What's cooking?
The rest of the chicken.
What, chicken nuggets or something? Chicken pieces?
No, the chicken that we had last night.
All right, okay. I found as well, certainly over this last couple of weeks, that I've not been hungry much. So obviously something's clicking with this diet, isn't it? Definitely eating the right kind of foods to not be feeling hungry, which is good. Christine, currently working on Peridot Fairy Mirabilia. A bit disappointed with the coverage of the black, doing it on 14 count. Are you using 2 strands? If I were you for black, if you're stitching on anything other than black fabric, I'd put the 14 count black up to, I'd put it up to 3 strands if you're using 2. And the other thing I'd do as well is when you cut off the length of thread, separate the 3 strands and then put them back together. You might find that gives you a bit better coverage. If you're using DMC black as well, sometimes a lot of people have said that DMC black seems to be that little bit thinner, so it's not giving great coverage. So yeah, I'd be inclined to use 3. Have you? Are you far into the black, Christine? Lots of people use anchor black as well, don't they? Because it's better coverage than the DMC. Which I can understand actually, because sometimes when I've picked up DMC, I've thought, oh, this seems a bit thin. Oh, blimey, halfway through. All right, that's quite a lot. Is there much black in it, Christine? How many stitches do you reckon you've done? That'd be a lot to frog, wouldn't it? If you're about halfway through the black. I had this with this model stitch I was doing. With using 6 strands. What I had to do was cut off the length, separate all the 6 strands and then put them back together. So it laid better and it gave better coverage. But I mean, certainly if you're using 2 strands, are you railroading as well? Because if you're not railroading, you might be worth trying to railroad. It is disappointing, isn't it, when you don't get the coverage that you want? Especially on something that you've, like a Mirabilia that really you put heart and soul into.
Did you have a preference as to whether we go this weekend or in 3 weeks' time?
Not bothered.
Right, well, Hannah's weather forecast was completely out.
Oh, right, okay.
It's fine.
Well, let her know. Yeah, give railroading a bash and see how it looks. But as I said, I mean, certainly as well, when you're separating your strands, separate them off one at a time and put them back together. It just makes, for me, if I'm using 2 or more, that's the way I would do it. It just seems to make them lay better, stop the threads from twisting up so much, and helps with railroading as well. So... But yes, very disappointing. I mean, when I first had this stitch sent to me, I was like having to check it because originally, they didn't want me to use 6 strands. I'm like, yeah, but the coverage is really rubbish. Can we just double check this with the designer? think Teresa Little Stitcher was using a slightly different black, a different kind of thread. Still a DMC one, but it was like in a hank, if I remember, and it looked like pearl cotton, but it wasn't pearl cotton. Ah, that's it, Sandy. Floche. I think it's Floche. So that might be something to look into for the black going forward, Christine. The DMC itself isn't cutting it. Thank you. My mind is adrift for some things. Some bits of information I retain, some don't. I knew it was a different thread, but couldn't remember the name of it. I managed to bend a needle this week. I don't know how. I think it was just sort of pulling it, and then when I was sort of pulling it out, it was tight and it just bent the eye down. Like, it's marvelous. Luckily, I am not short of needles. So yeah, so next week I've got a week off work. So by the sounds of it, on Saturday, we'll be going out filming with Andy. Monday, I shall have my nails done. Tuesday, me and Andy are going away for a night. Wednesday, it's Valentine's Day. And me and Andy always have this thing with Valentine's. I always say to him, never, ever get me flowers for Valentine's. Wait for 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks or a month. Because the flowers that you get at Valentine's, they're overpriced. They massively inflate the prices. Even your basic supermarket bunch. So we always said, don't bother with flowers for Valentine's. It's far better that you can get. I mean, I could say to him, I'll have another Gecko Rouge kit, but I think his wallet would start to cry. Am I right, dear?
Maybe.
It's current, as it currently stands, I reckon that next year I'll have 8 Gecko new starts. It's always a tricky time of year for me as well, because the 6th of February, which is this coming Tuesday, it would have been my mum's birthday. And she'd have been 75. My mum would have been 75.
75.
But of course, I lost my mum 11 years ago. On the 12th of February, 11 years ago. And the 12th of February, the year that my mum died, just happened to be Shrove Tuesday, just happened to be Pancake Day. So it kind of spoiled that for me as well. So February, the first 2 weeks of February are always a bit weird for me. But yeah, I always say to Andy, don't bother with doing Valentine's. If you're going to get me some in, wait for a couple of weeks. There's plenty of ways of showing somebody that you love them rather than going and buying overpriced flowers and chocolates and some card with a sentiment on it, you know. I mean, we might just have our tea on Wednesday by candlelight instead, you know, save the electric every cloud. Remember, my ex-husband didn't, well, I say didn't, he tried. I have to say, he did try. And one Valentine's Day, he bought me a lady shaver. Very useful, very practical, but hardly the most romantic of presents. I think he was trying to say something about my legs still having the winter coat on them. Anybody watched anything good on the telly? I watched on ITV Player After the Flood, which was blah, 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 which was like a 6-parter. Very good. Any of you seen that? I rather enjoyed it. Hi, Esther. I've seen one or two things on Netflix and that I want to watch. I actually was watching a movie type thing on Netflix last night about USA. Was it USA for Africa? We Are the World, back in the 80s. Wow, technology's certainly come on a long way since then. I'm just waiting for Unforgotten to come back on ITV. I loved Unforgotten. Don't think you could have beat Nicola Walker. It was really sad when her character got killed off. But I do like Unforgotten. It's like Midsummer Murders with a dark side. Because Midsummer Murders is the same. You get to the end of it and you just think, it's just nothing like what I thought it was going to be. Hi, Rose. Hope you're well. Let us know what you're doing, what you're stitching on. Same for you, Esther. I have my daughter the deep out. I've not watched Vera, Christine. People have said that before, it's very good. So I might add that to my list of things to watch. But I tend to watch on catch up rather than actually, you know, on the telly when it's on the telly, because I'm watching on catch up in my own time. But I really enjoyed After the Flood. Hi, Stitch in Budapest. Hi. Budapest, that's Hungary. Yeah. It's Bucharest is Romania, Budapest is Hungary, isn't it? Yes, I do like to have a good mooch around the catch-up channels. I've got ITV, Channel 4 and BBC, Netflix and Disney. So I usually find something to watch. 24 Hours in Police Custody is quite good as well on Channel 4. That's I get quite entertained by that. Rose working on small things that are almost done. Lovely. Racking up the finishes already. I haven't had one finish yet, apart from my model. I'm stitching on Stitching Friends by Colorado Cross Stitcher, doing 4 of them for my sisters. Ah, that sounds nice. Right, let's go back here. 765. I think I've bent the eye for this needle as well. It's just slightly skew if. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Doing well. Who was it who used to bend spoons? That magician. Uri Geller. I'm the Uri Geller of the stitchy world. Bending needles' eyes. What do you think, dear?
Indeed.
I'm going to have a look for some fabric as well for my autumn waltz when I turn it into a cushion cover, because I might do that over my week off. Can see what they've got in Hobby Shop. Get my sewing machine out, which I never do. What brand of needles do I like? I've used DMC needles, John James needles, and Bohins. I do find that John James's and Bohins are the better. DMC needles, I can occasionally get burrs in the eye of the needle, which shreds the floss. But usually it's Bohins and John James's, and I think it's my John James's ones that are bending. So they're obviously made of quite soft metal. But I don't really have much of a preference, as it were. I know that is it Peacemakers have been mentioned? I've still yet to have a look at those. Has anybody ever tried those double pointed needles from John James's with the eye in the middle for two-handed stitching? Those are fun because they're very long but very fine. But obviously it enables you to do two-handed stitching without having to turn the needle underneath. Sounds like Andy's shredding kitchen up. We did a cottage pie for lunch today, which was rather nice, with lots of vegetables. And there were 7 of us, and we had 7 clean plates, which is what we want. I've not tried the ballpoint needles, Sharon. The thing is with the John Jameses, I use the standards though, not the petite ones, because the petite ones, my hands are quite big, and the petite ones I can't seem to grip properly. Yeah, Sharon, where do you get the ball needles from? I've had a look in like haberdasheries and stuff, you know, when I've gone, but I've not seen them anywhere in shops. Oh, Lakeside. Must remember to have a look next time I put in an order. £2 a needle. Holy moly, I'll stick to my non-ball tip needles then. I'll be tied. Blimey, £2 a needle. I mean, I to be fair, I have a good stash of needles. You know, I never have to buy a needle again. Still using the needle you bought 3 years ago. I'd probably lost that, found that, lost it again, and it ended up in Andy's foot in 3 years.
Tell me about it.
Hey, you've not had one land in your foot in a while. We could change that though if you like. I lost a needle about a week ago. I just, excuse me, just take the thread off a floss card, and I thought I'd put my needle on my mind drawer in my work. Went for it, wasn't there. And I found it when I was in my thread box. It was stuck to the side of this, which is my magnet. So, but it's funny because if I drop a needle on the carpet and I run this on the carpet, it doesn't pick it up. But it'll pick up, you know, a needle obviously that's flying through the air. Weird. Oh, excuse me. I really have no excuse for losing needles because Hannah, I haven't shown this yet, but Hannah bought me this. Right, let me just take the wrapping off. I don't know if you can see how much of this you can see. So it's a cup and saucer that have been stuck together, and I've got laying tools in it. They're very long, they're more like a hat pin. It's got like this lovely pin cushion in it. So I've really got no excuse for losing needles, have I? Isn't it lovely? She bought it from I think it was from a charity shop in Nottingham. They were making them up. There's a tape measure and what have you. But how fabulous is that? I've got no excuse for losing needles when I've got a tray here to put them on and a pin cushion to stick them in. But, you know. And 1,000,001 needle mine just knocking about too. Hi, Karen. Karen says, just an FYI, the ballpoint needles are actually weaver's needles. Was able to buy the same size that we use for cross stitch there by C.S. Osborne. Oh, lovely. Stitching Budapest. Lucky as we have wood floor. Still struggle to find the needle if I drop one. Yeah. Karen gets them in bulk for a way better price than Sullivan's. Fantastic. Mrs. Smiggins, always losing needles. I ordered 100 just before Christmas. Think I've about 70 left. Yes, it's a lovely little set, isn't it? And I was so, you know, it was so lovely. And I was like, oh. Hi, Betsy. She was like, you've brought me, you know, away for these couple of days, Mum. I just want to get you something nice. And I was like, oh. She said there were about a choice of 3, and she said, pick the one you like the best. Well, I liked them all. She said she's going to get me a one of the things that I have when as I'm on this diet is there's a little tiny, the UK ladies will know this, like a small chocolate bar like this. It's called a Freddo, little Cadbury's bar, and Hannah says that she's going to get me a drawer full of them because she saw a video on TikTok, and I'm like, yeah, you can do that. And she's like, challenge accepted. Yep, I dared her. Challenge accepted. Hi to Catherine, dropping in from Facebook. I hope you are well. Are you stitching on the SS Battle still? I've seen your progress pictures this week. It's looking gorgeous. Oh, yes, please, Karen. Pop the link in and, you know, we'll certainly have a look at that. I don't mind links and things if it helps somebody. I mean, we had Alison in here, didn't we, with the spiking stand a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, go for it. And, you know, the same goes for everybody else. If you want to post a link of a favourite Etsy seller or a chart that you've bought or whatever, feel free just to pop it in the box.
Sorry, I'm quiet, peoples.
Yeah, it's quiet because you've just been noshing.
Well, it's not just that. I've been planning out our Derbyshire trip.
Yeah.
So.
But I think it's been quite a busy weekend.
Well, it has. But.
That
happens, Nicky.
Oh dear. I'm just checking up on Facebook. I think the little one's quieting down next door now. I remember those toddler days with mine, but I don't think they were quite as vocal as the little lad next door is. Because blimey, he can't, he has got a pair of lungs on him. I think he's about 3-ish, 3.5. And we could hear quite clearly this morning he wanted to watch something on TV at 8 o'clock this morning. And his mum said no. I've no idea what he wanted to watch or why she said no, but, you know, mum's rule, she says no, she says no. Well, he was quite vocal in his annoyance at his mother.
Quite.
Yeah, I'm being polite. In his annoyance at his mother for not allowing him to watch what he wanted. So,
it was ridiculous.
So Catherine stitching on SS Battle to the end of the month. Not as many stitches this month. Road trip next weekend. Oh, she sounds like you're busy then, Catherine. Fingers crossed you'll still get some good stitchy time in. I shall be considering what I should be taking on my road trip as well. I also want to try and earmark at least a day or two during that week that I'm off to work on some Tunisian crochet, because I've got the hooks. Haven't used one yet. Bit naughty of me, I know. You know, £25, 25 for £46 for the needles. I suppose over a long term, they're a good investment. It's like this hobby can be expensive as an initial outlay, but because of the hours of enjoyment you get in it, I think it makes it sort of worth that. It does make it cheap in the long term compared to some other things like, I don't know, skiing or skydiving or fishing or whatever. And of course, you know, but if you're prone to losing needles, Mrs. Miggins, then maybe that's not for you. Oh, have they really gone up that much, Karen? Oh, blimey. It sounds like these needles have gone up. Everything's gone up though, hasn't it? I mean, right from, you know, a loaf of bread and milk to car insurance. Our car insurance has gone up 50%. Absolutely, everything's just got absolutely ridiculous at the moment. I feel very sorry for anybody who's got a mortgage at the moment. So, who's that coming down my stairs? Hi, Hannah. Just been showing everybody the needles, this set that you got me.
I bought you that monster.
That was from Nottingham.
You always just unwrapped it.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, everybody said how lovely it is.
Yeah, I should have. It was for the money I paid for it. I paid good money for that.
It's very cute, because we were just talking about losing needles, and with this I have no excuse, do I?
No, you do not. I don't want to see another needle on this floor or in my foot.
Hi, Lynette.
Some of them.
Maybe Karen, yeah. Maybe you did send too many there. Yes, Mrs. Miggins, 50%. It was about £600 last year, £900 this year. And Andy went on compare sites, and pretty much everywhere was offering him for about £900. He could get it like £50 less, but by the time they've opted out and all the rest of it, is it really worth it? So, yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. Yeah, very cute, Esther, isn't it?
Take what you've got, because there'll be more. There will be more.
I need a cloth.
Yeah, no, but they're still wet.
Okay.
Even if it's just partly dry, I'll still take it. Isn't it wet anyway?
I'll be thinking of you, Catherine. I'm not going to say what you've sent to me unless you're happy for me to share, but I will be thinking of you. House insurance is the same. They're saying it was 67% this next year. Yeah. Everything, isn't it? Utilities, grocery shopping. You know, the price of everything is just unbelievable.
They're in the bathroom. They're in the bathroom on the back of the bath. What?
When mice are on the floor in the bathroom, they need to go out for wash, not tuck back in there.
No one does that, Hannah.
Yes, Sharon, that is absolutely spot on. Pity that our wages indeed don't go up the same. You know, we still work for the same money and we have less disposable income, if any at all now. I mean, I'm lucky I work for a decent organisation and I will be getting a pay rise this year. But the pay rise will only just sort of buffer the extra expenses that we've had because of cost of living rises. You know, we have to literally fight for every penny, don't we? I mean, this is why I'm quite glad I've got the model stitching work, because obviously it's something extra that's paid for that I can do around my day job and around my stitching. Yeah, Mrs. Miggins, you're dead on there. They would go up if you were an MP or a council leader or something like that, because I tell you, the amount that people in charge of councils get is disgusting. And they've still got holes in the road and all.
Don't I know it?
There's a corner about, what, a quarter of a mile from us?
Not even that.
Not even that. There's a corner, and this road is used by the buses. And this bend has got progressively worse this last 6 months.
So, yeah, something like that, yeah.
And council have done nothing about it. And it's like, you may as well be driving down, at speed down a cobbled street. You get the same effect as going at low speed around this bend. Absolutely awful. Food increases that annoy me, packet sizes go down. Yeah, shrinkflation. There's a channel I watch on YouTube. It's Neil Sean, who is a showbiz reporter, but he does quite a lot about golden age of Hollywood, but he also talks about time gone past and how things have changed now. He does a lot of royal stuff as well. And, he was talking about shrinkflation, about how, that prices go up, packet sizes go down, or the packet sizes stay the same, but the weight of the packet goes down, and that's just, it's just terrible, what used to have 6 packs in a multi-pack now have 5 for the same price, that sort of thing. It is disgusting though. I mean, the amount of extra money that we have to pay just for basic groceries, shocking. I just got to go to supermarket these days and I'm like, well, at least Dick Turpin had the decency to wear a mask. We've got many more holes in snow and frost. Yeah, same here. Since the heavy rains and the couple of storms that we've had, and we've had obviously the cold and the warm, the milder weather, intermittently, the roads have got much worse. I had to buy a tyre the other month because of a pothole. The tyres doubled in price. You notice yours have doubled, Andy, when you had to have a new tyre?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did, yes.
you just sort of think to yourself, how on earth do some of these companies justify it, justify the price rise? I mean, some of you might know, me and Andy do a photo charting thing, photos and, you know, personal images, or even published images with artist permission into cross stitch. And it's a purely digital business, and our prices have stayed the same since we started it in 2016. So, you know, we don't charge any more. But I mean, if you've got something physical, you know, if the raw materials are costing more and things, then yes, you can understand. But it just seems like arbitrary now that supermarkets and things are putting the prices up. You go one week and you get something, and then the next week you think, crack, I'm not having that again. It's too flipping expensive. So you go without, don't you? Sharon, I'm the same. I come back grumpy woman too. And, you know, I'm one of those that I will wait until something's on offer and then I'll buy lots of it. And we're fortunate that we've got a food discounter not far from us. So, you know, we do go there as well. Because Andy doesn't drink tea or coffee. He drinks soft drinks, but not fizzy drinks. And the food discounter is really the best place that we can go. And if I didn't have them, I'd be paying, you know, twice as much easily in the supermarket. But because he doesn't drink tea or coffee, and who wants a hot chocolate in the summer? And of course, when the children are here, they drink plenty of soft drinks too. And, you know, for things like a treat for the children, like, you know, they might have like some sweets or chocolate that are discounted. It means that we can still treat them and it not cost us as much. Sometimes I find food and stuff that's suitable for my diet and I buy it in bulk because then I've got it, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I keep a good pantry. We could probably get through an apocalypse, but still, you know, we've got to sort of look at where we can to eke out the last, you know, those extra pennies, because it's just awful. And of course, you know, I mean, I know that we do get some food from such as the Ukraine, which is in a terrible shape at the moment. You know, one of their primary crops is sunflowers, so sunflower seeds, sunflower oil, and so on and so forth. The price of oil in our supermarkets has gone up by a ridiculous amount. But we do what we can. I sound like a right whinging old woman, don't I? This is a worry, though. I mean, we're not a particularly big family in the grand scheme of things. You know, there's 4 of us that live here and a cat. It actually probably costs me more to feed the cat these days because of the way I shop. You know, I try and shop sensibly. Come on. It is hard, though, at the moment. Yes, Mrs. Miggins, I'm the same. I do feel sorry for people with families and food shopping. You know, I mean, they've said it certainly here in the UK. I don't know about, you know, the rest of the world, but certainly for us here in the UK, things like food bank use has massively increased. One of the things that I do with my work is we do volunteer days. And this year we'll be spending one of our volunteer days at a food bank, same one that we went to last year. And I was absolutely astonished when I went there last year to find out that they were actually providing food to some schools which have a catering budget, and they can't manage to feed their children on that catering budget and are having to rely on a food bank. And that's bad, isn't it? You know, when the budget is just, you know, there's not enough money left to feed everyone. Who do you say? You know, you can't just say, well, you know, you can have a dinner, but you can't have it on this day because we won't have the food for you. So they have to use food banks and food cooperatives as well. It's terrible. You'd have thought that certainly in the UK with the education system that they would have increased the allowance for school meals. You know, certainly no child should go hungry. I bought some navel oranges a few weeks ago. I went back the very next week and they'd gone from $3.50 a kilo to $10.50 a kilo. Yep. And those of you who are personal friends of mine on Facebook will have seen that you can go into a McDonald's and you can get a packet of fries for, you know, 99p. But if you want to get some fresh fruit, it's going to cost you 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much. And that's the problem. You know, cheap food is unhealthy, whereas it should be the opposite way around, really, that the healthy foods, healthier options, fruits and vegetables and things should be cheaper, but they're not. And that's the case in point there. If your oranges have tripled in price, that's just awful. So, you know, and if you're anything like me, you'll be like, don't waste them. Every single one of those must be eaten or used in one form or another. You know, it is dreadful, Mrs. Miggins. I absolutely agree. I was shocked. The place I went to, I don't know if you might have heard of it. It's called Fair Share, and it's like a cooperative, and schools, day centres, charities, youth organisations, elderly organisations, that kind of thing, are all receiving food from them, as well as you know, people, members of the public, if you like, who are in need of a food parcel. And I was absolutely shocked. And of course, you know, when you're talking about food poverty, there are other kinds of poverty too. You know, it's all very well having food, but are you in fuel poverty? You know, it's all very well having food and fuel, but, you know, have you got females in the house? Are you in period poverty? It's all right, you know, having this, that, and other, but is there a link in that chain that's missing? Yes, fruit and veg, I think, certainly should be subsidised and should be much easier to get hold of healthy options. It's something I've found, certainly being on this diet now. I can go out, right. My office at work, they have a canteen. At Christmas, they provided everybody who requested one with a free Christmas dinner. So turkey, roast potatoes, vegetables, all the rest of it. But then last week, one of my colleagues went to canteen to get a box of salad, which was like serve yourself a bit of salad in a box, and then you pay for it. I don't know if it was by weight or whatever. You know, £6 for a box of salad. And she was like, I can't do this again. Well, no, I won't be doing that again either. I always take my own into work anyway. I've always said that, Nicola, the government should subsidise fruit and veg. Yeah, I think they should too. The price of fruit and vegetables fluctuates so much as well. Market stalls for fruit and vegetables are more expensive than supermarkets. And markets traditionally used to be the cheaper, but now they're the more expensive. I went to a market store to get vegetables and fruit just before Christmas, and I wished I hadn't. But I knew I wouldn't be able to get them in a supermarket because, you know, everybody leaving the Christmas food shopping until like 2 days before. Well, actually, this was like 3 or 4 days before, but that's not point. Point is that I paid a heck of a lot more on a market stall than I ever expected to. And they used to be the cheaper option, but now they're not. You know, Mrs. Miggins, Subway would have probably been cheaper for a salad, because you'd have probably got the salad and a drink for the £6. If you've got an app, it'd probably been even cheaper.
Is it too tight?
Yeah, just make it a tiny bit. Can you make it a
Which one is
tiny
it?
bit closer, please?
Which one is it?
The supermarkets have them as a loss leader, yeah. Which is wrong, because if they have them as a loss leader, they're driving people into the supermarkets and away from the market traders who are, you know, the ones that were trying to make a living.
I don't take it off the back, I can't do it. I want
Is it off?
this one I can.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Andy.
Fruit and veggie prices are not as bad in Hungary as us natives think then. Also, our food halls of great quality to price below superstores. Opposite way around here for us now in the UK. You know, that I've gone and had a look in markets from time to time and thought, no, I'm not paying this. It's too expensive. And it truly has been. And I've always been a person that's supported the smaller trader. You know, I mean, when me and Andy go out filming for his channel, if I see an egg stall, I'll go and buy some eggs because I know that I'm supporting somebody, a family, a local business. But, you know, I mean, there's just not enough done to subsidise or to keep the pricing consistent. I think that would be perhaps something. If the prices could be consistent, then that would be a different matter. But there's just no consistency because there's no... There's no setting of price. What do they call it when you set a price, Andy? I think people know what I mean. Anyway, I'll go off my soapbox about food shopping in a minute.
You don't have to get off your soapbox. You know what? It's actually quite good when you're in your soapbox about this kind of thing, because not many people say enough about it.
I was told 30 years ago supermarkets want all small food businesses out of business. That is not a surprise, Mrs. Miggins. Not a surprise. We have a market here in my town, and when I was a kid, when I was a little girl, that market was so busy, you used to struggle to walk from one side to the other. You know, families would lose kids in it, you know, and you'd come home with bags and bags full of bargains. And now it's like a ghost town. Until Andy's at back, he's clackety-clacking. Not sure of exact price, but oranges were on $1.50 a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, our market now in Rotherham, half of the stalls have been removed to create seating areas for cafes. And back in the early sort of 2000s, 1999-ish, 2000, my ex-husband and I ran a market stall, and we were looking to try and get an inside one. And we were told by the market manager that we would have at least a 10-year wait for an inside market stall. Now it can be signed up in 10 minutes. There are that many empty stalls, it's ridiculous. So I've got a crinkler and a clickety-clacketer. Lauren's crinkling, she's eating chocolate. Okay. I'm mostly getting frozen vegetables, cauliflower, broccoli, green beans, avocado. Yeah, that's perhaps the more financially prudent way of doing it these days is actually buying frozen rather than fresh. And there's just as much nutrients in frozen vegetables. In fact, potentially even more so, because they might have added vitamins. I've just got some frozen vegetables this week. They're steamed vegetables that I can just put in the microwave for a few minutes from the freezer, and steamed vegetables, fantastic. But yeah, it's just ridiculous food at the moment. I mean, I noticed that when we got carrots for this weekend, I got a bag of carrots from the supermarket, and there were 7 of us for Sunday dinner, and that bag of carrots previously would have fed 7 of us and more. And I've had a dish with some in to go with my meal the following day. But today there wasn't even enough to give everybody carrots, and I went without. So, shrinkflation. Price had gone up, the packet size had gone down.
Is that an actual term, shrinkflation?
Yeah, Google it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right, you notice about how the size of a Mars bar or a packet of crisps has come down in weight.
Yeah.
But the packaging stayed the same and the price has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
That's shrinkflation. And I was, like I was saying earlier on, I saw somebody complaining on one of my Facebook groups about this. Another example of shrinkflation is when you go and buy a multi-pack of something, say for example my Freddos, and they would have had 6 in a pack, at say 99p, and now the 5 in a pack for £1.25. Shrinkflation. Somebody was complaining on one of my Facebook groups that Smarties, she was buying multi-packs of Smarties. Shrinkflation's hit Smarties. Oh, nice, good idea there at Stitch in Budapest. Shrinkflation is a concern over there, and the government has passed law to have packaging clearly state that the size has gone down. Yes, I think that would be a really good idea, and that's a good way of doing it, because sometimes you get home and you don't even realise the packaging size has gone down. And frozen is frozen close to harvest usually and retains more vitamins than fresh. Yeah, absolutely, Anna Karen, yeah. And like I said, sometimes they do actually have added the fortified as well. Like breakfast cereals are usually fortified. The vitamins. Frosties are usually got vitamins and iron in them. $3.765. Lots of blue in this one. PG Tips have removed 30 bags from their box. Shocking. That's absolutely shocking. And I bet they're charging more for the box now as well. Mrs. Miggins, don't get me on cereals. I'm pretty sure that, you know, the little multi-pack cereals that you get. Well, I get them at Christmas as a bit of a treat, you know. The little multi-pack ones where you get like variety of half a dozen kinds of cereal and a couple of duplicates. I'm sure they used to be 40 grams. I think they're 30 now. But yeah, it's absolutely shocking if they're, you know, I went into Asda and I found that if I got a Kenko refill per kilogram price, it was actually cheaper to get a brand new jar, a glass jar, rather than the refill. Because I always look at the price per kilogram on the edge tags. And I was like, I can't believe that it's actually cheaper to buy a new glass jar. Thank goodness for recycling. Oh, I could go on all night about this. I bet some of you guys could too, if you've noticed it like I have. It is rubbish though, isn't it? I'm just very glad, as I said, that, you know, we do our Asda shop. We've got a food discounter nearby. I have an Asda card, which I top up and I get money back for doing that. So loyalty cards, loyalty apps, all that sort of thing. It's the only way, really. Sharon rants all the time, especially for son waste food. Yep. We try not to have any waste food in this house if we can help it. Doesn't always work, but we try and, you know, have minimal waste where we can. Mrs. Miggins, you are absolutely spot on. We were not allowed to waste food when we were kids. You had to have a clean plate every time. And if you were still hungry, then you could have a piece of bread and butter or bread and dripping if it was a Sunday in our house. I don't remember my mum throwing away very much at all. I mean, there were 5 of us in our house and my brother had a big appetite. But no, we didn't waste very much at all. And my granddad grew vegetables for us. My granddad had an allotment and he had hens and ducks. So we got eggs. And what else? My mum used to grow tomatoes. Oh, wasn't I? We couldn't leave the table until the plate was cleared. Yeah. Yeah, we had to be good. And no pudding until you've eaten your dinner. And pudding was a rarity. If it was once a week, that was good. If it was once a month, that was good. We didn't have pudding very much at all. We always have a choice at mealtime, eat what's on the plate and go without. Yep, eat it or starve. If we didn't eat dinners, we weren't allowed pudding. We used to call me the dustbin because I'd eat what the others didn't. Yeah, my brother was like that, Mrs. Miggins. He had a very big appetite as a kid. We were all rake thin and all as kids because we used to run around all the time. We were never inside. We never had, we were never on computers or consoles or anything like that. We were just outside all the time. Where have you been? Oh, we've been down to Clough in St Woods. Where you been? Oh, we've been scrumping apples from allotments. Where you been? Oh, we've been and picked blackberries. We did all sorts of stuff when we were kids. We were never in. We were never in. In the summertime, we would come home about 7 or 7 or 8 o'clock at night and have a bath and go to bed. We would just be out all the time. If it were, kicking a ball or walking with friends or at the park or whatever. Don't know about you, but my mum would make all our meals from scratch. So much more filling. No ready meals. Yeah. My mum were a cook, so it came with territory for her. She used to make her own bread, her own cakes. She used to make everything from scratch. My dad, when my dad was, I didn't see my dad for a number of years until I found out that he was dying and he had very limited time left. And we reconnected, which I'm always be grateful for. We reconnected just before he died. And he was telling me, he said, we used to absolutely love it when my mum made bread because there was nobody who could make bread quite like my mum. My mum was really, really good. She had a light hand with pastry and with cakes. She used to bake at Christmas. She used to do Christmas cakes. If anybody in the family were having a party or whatever, it'd be like, Margaret, can you make some quiche? My mum's quiche was kind of famous at one point. And everything was made from scratch. She had her beans for baking blind. She used to make jam. We used to go blackberry picking in summer, and she'd make jam. God, she used to do all sorts, my mum. I mean, I can bake, but my mum were a part-time cook. I'm full-time, and I just don't have the time. But I did when girls were younger, and I used to make cakes quite a bit, and I used to make Christmas cakes and buns and what have you. And I even made bread at one point too, but I was nowhere near as good as my mum.
I remember when we used to make bread.
Yeah, you used to help, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you used to like all your cakes uncooked. You used to like licking the spoon, you.
I mean, can you blame me?
Nah. Bacon steamed pudding, oh, I'm getting hungry. Lynn, it's been lovely to catch up. I've got to get ready for work, finish washing after work when I put more beading on roses. Thank you very much for coming and joining us, Lynette, and have a lovely, a lovely evening, but, as soon as you're going to work, I hope it's a pleasant shift. Yeah, my mum would make things with pastry Fridays, yeah. Best bit, licking the spoon. There you go, see.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren used to like all of her cakes uncooked. I can remember one of my friends coming round to rescue me. He was an electrician. And he rescued me, and I said to him, do I owe you anything? He went, no, of course you don't. He says, but I know you bake. And I went, yeah. And he went, chocolate cake. And I made him a chocolate cake, and he was thrilled to bits with it.
Mm-hmm.
God, them childhood things that we used to have. My mum used to make meat and potato pie before Christmas, because she figured that if she had meat and potato pie for a week or two before Christmas on a Sunday, you'd look forward to your Christmas dinner. And that's a tradition that I keep, not having a roast. I don't make the meat and potato pie, but we don't have a roast. Well, this year we didn't in all the month of December, did we?
No.
So we look forward to our Christmas dinner. I actually found a book in my cupboard the other day, my mum's recipes. A scone recipes in there, a biscuit recipe in there, a date and walnut cake, coffee cake, and all sorts of stuff. And, you know, it was really funny because my mum passed away 11 years ago, and it was really weird seeing her handwriting again. And I knew the book was there in the back of my mind, but, you know, it's one of them things that you just kind of put it out of your mind. Lynette, so I was his crossing supervisor at primary school and the kids are wonderful. That's nice. Well, I wish it were a pleasant time at work. I'm pretty sure the kids will make your day. We've been going nearly an hour and a half already.
Oh.
Good these Sunday night live streams, aren't they? Okay, let's have a mark off. Happy days, younger days. Your mum still makes jam and stuff, doesn't she, though, Andy?
Yeah.
Which is rather nice.
Not as often as maybe a few years ago, but you know we still do get occasionally a nice little batch of jam, which has come from my mother's.
Usually kids go out blackberry
kitchen.
picking, don't they?
Oh.
They didn't go this year, though. Mm. Well, ladies and gents, if there's any gents in here, this will make a nice round 300 stitches, which is a good place. And I am going to go and have a look in my book and tell you what's coming up this week. I went blackberry picking last year for the first time in years, and freezers now stocked for crumbles. The original hedgerow harvest is a blackberry. Let's just move that in a touch, because then you can actually see it. So these blocks are all bar a couple of stitches in this one finished. We've started filling in this one's underneath. So yeah, that is 300 stitches this evening, which I'm quite happy about. Right, let's give you all the heads up at what's coming up this week on the channel. So tomorrow I will film a stitch with me to go out on Wednesday, and that will be with Night Cafe. And it will be a chatty one. Frosty will come out Tuesday. Mary Princess is in rotation this week. The Realm of Middle Earth map is in rotation this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Night Cafe, Wednesday, Thursday, Mary Princess, Friday, Saturday, Realm of Middle Earth. And on Sunday, we get to do the live stream with Envy, which I know will please some people. So yeah, Envy's coming out on the live stream, so you get to see her face. So yeah. Okay, just catch up on a few more of your comments. Yes, it'll be Chatty Stitch with me with Night Cafe, and then with Realm of Middle Earth it'll be ASMR, won't it? Yeah. Right. I went blackberry picking last year for the first time in years. Feed stock for crumbles. Take care. Thank you, Sandy. Fish in Budapest is lovely work. Thank you very much. We used to go on moors and pick bilberries. Lovely. Thank you for your company, says Esther. Oh, no problem. It's my absolute pleasure. I love, love, love doing these Sunday night live streams now. I don't think I would change this. It's not been quite as busy in this stream tonight, but that's okay. It's been really, really nice to have you guys company. And let's have a look. My statistics on YouTube tell me that I had a peak of 75 viewers between 7 and 8 o'clock and 37 between 8 and 9. So that's quite good, isn't it? So people have obviously been dropping in and out. Other videos have been being watched as well. So I'm definitely over 1,500 subs now. 1,516 at last count. Those bots have gone away. So it's all good.
There will always be bots.
Oh, I'm sure there will, but it's just, when you get over to that hump of crossing into the next set of digits up, Pleasure to be with you all. Thank you. Have a good week. Thank you, Stitching Budapest. And thanks, Mrs. Sniggins, too. And all of you who are watching this evening, thank you very much indeed for joining us and giving us the pleasure of your company. It's been awesome. So take care, everybody. So I'll see you next time on Floss Tube on Tuesday. Stitch with Me's Wednesday, Friday. Back here, same time, same place, 7:30 next Sunday for a live. Let's just flick over to Facebook as well. Make sure I haven't got any messages. Nope, we're all good. Right, okay. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.